We're doing both. You're just talking to the mic or the camera, and it's great to have you on the show. And
hey, what's going on, everybody?
now you've been here. I've been running back and forth. You spotted me, but I didn't spot you because I've been on the go all day. But you've been covering things at CPAC since Wednesday, correct?
No, I came Wednesday night, but like I saw you interview other people, and I didn't want to be rude and like say hi.
Well, there's a tradition in my interviews that people come and say hi and sometimes interrupt them and jump in.
Okay,
so you can always do that, but I'm even more thrilled because now we have a chance to have you on the Midnight Court, which you've been missing. For the last two midnights, we have been broadcasting from that table. We broadcasted till quarter of 4 the first night. We finished at 5 a.m. the second night.
Wow.
And we're doing a bunch of different stuff. Well, today let's talk about your coverage. You were here Thursday and Friday, so obviously you were here for the Trump speech. First of all, what was your impression of the speech?
It's Trump's usual regular speech that he's always said on the campaign trail, promising to do what he said he was going to do and going after the media.
And I was sitting with the media, and I presume you were sitting in the media section. I don't know where you were. I was next to the Yahoo people at the end, about 3/4 of the way in.
Literally stepped out. This is the downfall of like having the president here with the heavy security. I stepped out for a second, and they would have let me back in, so I had to work in one of the booths.
Oh, that's a pain in the neck.
Yeah.
I actually missed a very good free breakfast because of that, because I said I'm just not going through that security again with all that stuff. But the reaction of the media's reaction was very cool to it, but the people's reaction was very big. What were you seeing outside in the booth area? The people who were waiting outside who couldn't get in, who were hearing it?
Well, I was mostly on my tweet deck, so I have a lot of reporters, and they have me back. And I was just watching their reaction to his speech.
And that I did not see, so I'm very glad that we're talking about this.
So then you see, like, they bash Trump all the time. But when Trump bashes them, they want to cry wolf. So it's just like, you can't have it both ways. And that's what the reporters need to realize, that as a reporter, you're not a commentator, you're not an analyst, you're a reporter. You're supposed to report who, what, when, where, why. So that's what is getting Trump really pissed off. He says he doesn't want to hold the accountability. Hold me accountable if I mess up, whatever. But don't criticize everything I do. If I do an executive order, I get criticized. If I walk down to Mar-a-Lago Club, I get criticized. If I sneeze, I get criticized. And enough is enough, to the point that I can see the frustration of the silent majority, the quote-unquote the deplorables that Hillary calls us. And this is why Trump was elected, because the media makes fun of the American people, the silent majority, and this is what rolls down with Trump.
Now, when I look at the way the media react, it's almost as if Trump is a bullfighter and goading them into charging, and his whole constituency is yelling "Ole" as they cheer the media going out. I mean, these are supposed to be adults, and they're acting like petulant children. And now I don't know if you've heard the news. President Trump has announced he will not be attending the Correspondents' dinner.
Sad. I was hoping to go to that this year. I was like, finally, I could actually attend the White House dinner, correspondent dinner. I was getting invites by certain other media outlets to join as their guests, and now my end of April plans have been canceled.
Well, they may still have the dinner, and I'm wondering now. And what I think is funny is, they were crying, we don't want to go, we're going to cancel this party, we're going to cancel that party. Now that the president has let them off the hook, saying, well, I'm not going to be there, you guys have a good time. Yeah. You have people all over Twitter saying, cowards, scaredy cat. It's like, these people are so schizophrenic, and I think the whole idea is to take the mask off and let the American people see them for what they are.
Yeah, but I think I love Donald Trump as a president. He's done a lot the past 36 days, but I think he really needs to stop attacking the media, because it's really hurting his poll numbers. I've noticed this from analysts. And the more you go after the media, the more the media is going to go after you. And I think the American people want to see Trump be a president, and they love what they've been seeing the past 36 days. But I think the media, him going after the media, is just hurting his credibility. And that's what the American people are seeing, that he's going after the media. They're not seeing the good things. Like, he has, the quote-unquote State of the Union address on Tuesday. It's not really supposed to be a State of the Union address, but he's addressing the Congress on Tuesday. Because if everybody knows, the first when the president is elected, the first year they don't have a State of the Union address. So Tuesday is supposed to be a big deal, and then next week coming up, you're supposed to see the new executive order on immigration and the security and everything. Pretty soon you're going to see a plan for 30 days with the ISIS, how he's going to defeat ISIS. You know, the Secretary of Defense is supposed to come up with a plan, and he's supposed to get ready and roll it out. So him going after media blocks those coverages of him being a president and doing the good for the American people.
Well, the question is, would the media be covering the good he's doing, or would they be trying to spin it away?
I think they'll be trying to spin it away, and it gets to the point that that's when you see if there's good media out there and there's fake media out there, as long as he's doing his job, and which he is doing his job, but they see that they're talking about what he's rolling out and what he's saying, not talking negative about the media, then they're going to see why Trump went after the media.
Now, from what you've seen at CPAC, what have been the big stories for you?
Big stories.
The stories that you found most interesting, because you're here reporting, obviously.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There was nothing really, oh my God, big. It was, more about the Steve Bannon and the Reince Priebus, because there's been rumors going around in the White House that there's a friction between them two. Mm-hmm. And you see that it's not true. Like, why would Trump hire quote-unquote arch enemies to work side by side each other? I don't think that would ever work at any business, at any office going around. So you have the media trying to pin two of his allies together and trying to disrupt the administration.
Now, is that a case of the media really can't take down Trump because they didn't build him in the sense that he already had an established brand? So even when he's brash in a way that most people would say is not the normal presidential way, people just, well, that's just Donald. Just the way they would say about Joe Biden when he'd say his gaffes, oh, that's just Joe. Nobody bothered him about it. But because Bannon, especially, although you may have known him, and I've known him for like 7 or 8 years, and I know that the picture the media is painting is pretty much false.
Yeah, definitely.
The question is, because it's not known to the average person, they figured they can define him. And I think that that's really what they're doing. They can't get Trump that way, so they try and get Bannon.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say that the media did not bring him up. I would say he had an established brand, but the media is the reason why the American people were able to see his message, because I remember in the primaries, they would never focus on, let's say, for example, Cruz or Rubio.
And I was a Cruz guy, full disclosure, during the primaries.
So it was Cruz and Rubio and Carson, well, Carson a little bit, but like you would see like the other candidates, they when they had rallies or they had events, they never would stop their program and cover it. When it came to Trump's rally, they covered it to the T, and the American people were able to see it. And
they were able to see what he had to say too, and then, you'll notice once he got the nomination, that stopped.
Well, I mean, like when they noticed that he was getting the 1237, they were like, oh God, we created a monster. You didn't create a monster, you were able to give him the free airway, and Trump was able to use the media to his full advantage. And that's why I saw every other candidate in the primary. The biggest mistake you guys did was not going to the Sunday talk shows, not talking to the media. You were getting mad that, CNN, Fox, and everybody else was covering Trump, but you called Trump and you wanted a media coverage of him. He was there for you in a heartbeat. They would call whoever, the 16, they'll be like, oh no, I can't do it, da-da-da-da-da. So the biggest mistake that the other candidates did was not take the media's advantage and getting their name out there. So the media did rise them up, and when they realized going into the after Wisconsin primary, when Cruz dropped out and Trump was the thing, the only thing they were talking about, I remember this, was a broker convention. Mm-hmm. And then they realized that there was going to be no way a broker convention, because at that time Trump already had formed an alliance with the RNC, and the RNC was not going to let that happen. And I would think right after he got the nomination, Clinton got the nomination, you started seeing negative coverage of Trump.
Because once they built him up, and then the plan was to tear him down, but he just was able to counteract that. Now, I want to close with this. What do you see happening over the next year with this administration? Do you think they're going to make the goals in terms of he talked about starting the wall right away. There have been stories about that. I've interviewed a lot of CPAC attendees, and the one issue that people have talked about the most, and I've asked just about everyone, what's the one issue you want taken care of? And we've had different issues. We had some people say jobs, especially young people saying jobs. We had some people say ISIS. We've had some people say unity. But the number one thing I've heard people say is repeal Obamacare. Do you think that he will get a repeal/replace in place before the end of the year?
It depends on how Congress was able to draft up a good plan that's able to get that done. And if you ever look at Paul Ryan's plan about Medicaid, and you ever look at Rand Paul's plan, and you look at home prices, if you could combine the goodness of those replacements of the Obamacare, and you look at, and you can find a solvable solution, I can guarantee you will find a replacement on the table, a bill, and then we'll see a rollout within the next 2 years.
And finally, where can people find your work these days?
You can find me more on like social media at Mona Salama _, that's at Twitter. And you can find me on Facebook, Mona Salama.
And let me tell you something, you want to follow her now I don't do Facebook. I refuse to do Facebook.
Twitter.
But you want to follow her on Twitter, you want to follow her, and I hope she gets on Gab as well, because I'm doing a lot with Gab. You want to follow her. This is one of the brightest young women who are out there, and if you're a media outlet and you have not hired her, or at least commissioned her to do some writing for you, you're missing out, let me tell you. Mona, thank you so much for your time, and it is great to see you.